Before we move into today's conversation, let me say this clearly. If this podcast helps you feel calmer, more confident, or more comfortable speaking English in daily life, subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who needs it. That simple action helps this project grow and reach more learners. Now, let's slow down and really stay here. Today, we're talking about daily life conversations. Not impressive English, not fast English, not perfect English. We're talking about real English for real days.
And that's important because most people don't live exciting days every day. Most days are ordinary. You wake up, do your tasks, talk to a few people, feel a few emotions, and go to bed. But that's exactly where English should live.
Yes, many learners think fluency belongs to special situations, traveling, meetings, big conversations, deep discussions. But fluency actually grows in small moments, short answers, simple reactions, honest descriptions of your day.
If you can talk about your normal life, English becomes natural.
And the problem is that learners often underestimate daily conversations. They think they're too simple to matter. But daily conversations are repetitive, and repetition builds confidence.
Let's start with something very basic, answering simple questions. Questions like, how is your day? How are things going? What have you been up to? Most learners answer with one word, fine, busy, normal, and then silence.
That silence is not because you don't know English, it's because you don't know how much is enough. You think you need to say something interesting. You don't. You just need to say something true.
Exactly. Truth is easier than creativity. Instead of fine, you could say, I'm fine but a bit tired. I'm okay, just trying to stay focused. I'm good, but today feels long. Those answers invite connection.
And when you invite connection, the conversation continues naturally. The other person might say, why are you tired? Or, what's making the day long? And suddenly, you're having a real exchange.
Daily English is not about showing vocabulary. It's about showing presence. Now let's talk about something many learners struggle with, explaining their routine. Routines feel boring, but they are extremely powerful for language learning.
Because routines repeat, and repetition is your best teacher. When you talk about your routine, you practice the same structures again and again without forcing anything.
For example, you can say, I usually wake up early. I work most of the day. In the evening, I try to relax. Before sleeping, I check my phone. These sentences are simple, but they are real.
And once you feel comfortable with these structures, you can start adding details. I usually wake up early, but I don't feel rested. I work most of the day, so I don't have much energy at night. In the evening, I try to relax, but my mind is still busy. That's daily life English.
Another very common daily topic is mood. And mood is tricky because many learners only know basic emotion words, happy, sad, angry. But daily life emotions live in between.
Yes, most days you're not extremely happy or extremely sad. You're somewhere in the middle. You might feel a bit overwhelmed, mentally tired, emotionally drained, calm but unmotivated, okay but not excited.
And these expressions are very common in natural English. When you learn how to express subtle emotions, your conversations become more authentic. You don't sound like a textbook, you sound like a person.
Another important daily life skill is reacting. Many learners can describe things, but they struggle to react when someone else is speaking. They don't know what to say, so they stay silent.
But reactions don't need to be complex. You can say, that makes sense. I understand. I feel the same. That sounds difficult. I can imagine. These reactions show engagement.
And engagement is more important than grammar. People don't remember perfect sentences. They remember how you made them feel.
Now let's talk about silence, because silence scares learners. When there's a pause, many learners panic. They think they failed. But silence is natural.
Native speakers pause all the time. They think, they search for words, they restart sentences. You're allowed to do the same.
You can say, let me think for a second. How can I explain this? I'm trying to find the right words. These phrases buy time and keep the conversation alive.
Daily conversations are not fast. They are flexible. Another daily topic is small problems. Not big life problems, just normal ones.
Yes, things like, I'm trying to manage my time better. I feel tired all the time. I have too many things on my mind. I need more balance. These sentences are simple and very useful.
And when you talk about small problems, people relate. Everyone has them. That's how conversations deepen.
Another thing learners often avoid is talking about themselves. They think it's selfish or boring, but daily life conversations are built on personal sharing.
You don't need to overshare, just be present. You can talk about what's happening in your life right now. What are you focused on? What are you worried about? What are you trying to improve?
And all of that can be said in simple English. You don't need advanced structures to express real thoughts.
This is why daily life English is so powerful. It connects language to identity.
You stop asking, how do I say this correctly? And start asking, how do I say this honestly?
That shift changes everything. English stops being something outside of you. It becomes part of how you think and reflect.
So while listening to this, don't think of it as a lesson. Think of it as a mirror. How would you describe your day today? How would you describe your mood right now? What small thing is taking space in your mind?
You already have the language. You just need permission to use it. And daily conversations give you that permission.
In the next part, we'll go deeper into keeping conversations going, how to ask simple follow-up questions, how to respond naturally, and how to feel less pressure while speaking.
Let's continue by focusing on something that makes daily conversations easier but is often ignored: asking simple follow-up questions. Many English learners think conversations depend on speaking a lot, but in real life, conversations depend more on responding well than talking endlessly.
Exactly. A good conversation is balanced. You speak, you listen, you react, and you ask something back. But many learners answer questions and stop. They don't continue the exchange because they don't know what to ask.
And the truth is, follow-up questions don't need to be creative or complex. They just need to show interest. For example, if someone says, "I've been feeling tired lately," you can ask, "Is it because of work? Have you been sleeping well? Has it been stressful?" Simple questions, natural questions.
And notice something important here. These questions are not grammatically complicated. They use basic structures that learners already know. What's missing is not knowledge, it's confidence.
Yes, confidence comes from repetition. When you practice these patterns often, your brain stops panicking. It recognizes the structure and relaxes. Let's look at another example. Someone says, "I'm trying to improve my English." You could respond with, "That's great. What are you focusing on right now? Are you practicing every day? What part feels hardest for you?"
These questions keep the conversation alive, and more importantly, they shift the pressure away from you. The other person starts talking, and you can listen and react. Listening is also part of fluency.
Another daily life skill is reacting emotionally. Many learners understand what the other person says, but they don't know how to show emotion in English. They stay neutral, and the conversation feels flat.
Yes, emotional reactions don't need to be dramatic. They just need to be present. You can say, "That sounds challenging. That must be frustrating. That's understandable. That's exciting." These phrases are used all the time.
And when you use them, people feel seen. That's what makes conversations meaningful. Daily conversations are not about exchanging information. They're about sharing experience.
Another thing that blocks learners is overthinking their responses. They think, is this correct? Is this natural? Is this the best word? And while they think, the moment passes.
Yes, overthinking kills flow. It's better to say something simple than to say nothing perfect. Daily English rewards speed, not precision.
And speed doesn't mean fast speaking. It means fast decision making, choosing to speak instead of staying silent.
Let's talk about a very common daily situation: small talk. Many learners say they hate small talk. They think it's useless. But small talk is not meaningless. It's how humans connect safely.
Small talk creates comfort. It reduces distance. Talking about the weather, your weekend, your routine, these topics help people relax, and relaxed people communicate better.
For example, you can say, "This week feels long. I didn't have much energy today. I'm looking forward to the weekend." These sentences are easy and natural.
And they invite response. Someone might say, "Me too." "Why is that?" "What are you planning?" That's how conversations grow.
Another daily life topic learners avoid is uncertainty. They feel embarrassed to say they don't know something, but not knowing is part of life.
You can say, "I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. I haven't decided." These sentences are very common.
And they sound confident, not weak. Confidence comes from honesty, not from pretending.
Another powerful daily life skill is talking about your thoughts, not just your actions. Instead of saying only what you do, you can say what you think.
For example, "I've been thinking about changing my routine. I've been reflecting on my priorities. I'm trying to understand myself better." These expressions elevate your English without complexity.
And they open deeper conversations naturally. People respond to thoughts more than facts.
Let's also talk about mistakes. Mistakes are unavoidable, but how you handle them changes everything.
Yes, when you make a mistake, you don't need to apologize excessively or stop. You can correct yourself calmly. You can say, "Sorry, I meant, let me rephrase that." Native speakers do this all the time.
Daily conversations are forgiving. People care more about meaning than form. When learners accept that, their anxiety decreases.
Another daily life habit that helps fluency is reflection. At the end of the day, you can ask yourself simple questions in English.
Questions like, "What went well today? What felt difficult? What did I learn?" You don't need long answers. Short reflections are enough.
This builds internal conversation in English, and internal conversation supports external conversation.
Daily English becomes stronger when it becomes internal first. When you think in English, speaking becomes less effort.
In thinking in English doesn't require full sentences. It starts with simple observations. "I'm tired. I need a break." This feels important.
Those thoughts slowly become speech, and speech slowly becomes confidence.
So if you feel that your English is not improving, ask yourself, how often do I use English to describe my real life?
Because language grows where attention goes, and daily life deserves your attention.
In the next and final part, we'll talk about making daily English sustainable, how to stay consistent without pressure, how to avoid burnout, and how to keep English present in your life without forcing it.
Let's talk now about sustainability. Not intensity, not speed, sustainability. Many learners can stay motivated for a short time, a few days, a few weeks, but then life happens. Work gets busy, energy drops, focus disappears, and English slowly leaves the routine.
Yes, this is where many learners blame themselves. They think they are lazy, undisciplined, or incapable. But most of the time, the problem is not the learner. The problem is the system they created. If English only exists when motivation is high, it will disappear when motivation is low.
Daily English needs to fit into real life, not an ideal version of life. Some days you are focused, some days you are tired, some days you don't feel like learning anything, and that's normal.
Sustainable learning respects energy. It adapts instead of forcing. On high-energy days, you can listen more, speak more, reflect more. On low-energy days, you can simply listen, or think in English, or say one sentence.
Consistency does not mean doing a lot every day. Consistency means not disappearing. Even one small moment of English keeps the connection alive.
This is especially important for daily conversations. Daily conversations don't need preparation, they need presence. You don't need to study for them, you need to show up.
Another important point is pressure. Many learners put pressure on themselves to use English correctly all the time. This creates tension, but tension blocks expression.
Yes, when you feel tense, your mind goes blank. You forget words you already know. Relaxed English is better English.
One way to reduce pressure is to accept imperfection as part of communication. Communication is not about being right, it's about being understood.
And being understood often requires less language than we think. Simple words, simple sentences, honest tone.
Let's talk about how to keep English present in your life without turning it into a burden. One powerful method is linking English to existing habits.
Instead of creating a new routine, connect English to something you already do. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, think one thought in English while drinking it. If you walk every day, listen to a short English audio. If you write messages, write one sentence in English.
These small connections build familiarity. English stops feeling like a task and starts feeling like a companion.
Another helpful strategy is lowering expectations. Many learners expect fast results. When they don't see progress, they feel frustrated. But language growth is slow and subtle.
You may not notice improvement every day, but over time you notice changes. You understand more without effort. You respond faster. You hesitate less. These are real signs of progress.
And progress often shows up quietly, not as confidence, but as comfort. You feel less afraid to speak, less tense when listening.
Another important part of sustainability is emotional safety. If English feels stressful, your brain will avoid it. If English feels safe, your brain will accept it.
You create safety by choosing content that matches your level and your emotional state. Daily life conversations are safe because they are familiar. You already know the topic, your life.
And your life doesn't need advanced vocabulary to be meaningful. It needs clarity and honesty.
Another thing that helps is redefining what fluency means. Fluency is not speaking fast, it's speaking without fear.
Fluency is being able to express yourself, even imperfectly, without shutting down. It's staying in the conversation, even when it's uncomfortable.
Daily conversations train exactly that. They teach you to stay.
Let's also talk about internal dialogue. Many learners only practice English externally, speaking with others, listening to content, but internal English is just as important.
Internal English means thinking in English during normal moments, when you wake up, when you feel tired, when you feel stressed. You can label your emotions in English.
I feel tired. I feel unfocused. I need a break. This is stressful. These thoughts build familiarity.
And familiarity builds confidence. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from feeling at home in the language.
Another thing that helps sustainability is self-compassion. If you miss a day, don't punish yourself. Just return.
Progress is not linear. There are pauses. There are setbacks. What matters is direction, not perfection.
Daily conversations also help you develop patience. They remind you that language is part of life, not something separate.
And when English becomes part of life, it becomes easier to maintain. You stop asking, "Do I have time for English?" and start asking, "How can English fit into this moment?"
That's a powerful shift.
Let's reflect for a moment. Think about your last conversation in English. Did you focus more on being correct or being present?
If you focused on correctness, you probably felt tense. If you focused on presence, you probably felt more connected.
Daily life English is an invitation to choose presence.
And presence creates flow. Flow creates confidence. Confidence creates continuity.
So if you want to improve your English, don't chase perfection. Build familiarity.
Talk about your day. Talk about your thoughts. Talk about your feelings.
In simple English every day without pressure.
That's how English becomes part of who you are. Not something you perform, but something you live.
And when you live in the language, fluency follows naturally.